Queso on the blue, Cream on the red, an immediate Murad ban coming out of Team Queso, denying that away from Cream Esports, and a quick Annette to boot.
Interesting, the Murad presumably targeting Frost, but...
Maybe they saw Angra yesterday.
Yeah, maybe they did, because they saw the performances yesterday. That's 2 jungle bans actually removed back-to-back. The Lindis, a standard EU ban. This means none of the powerful characters are yet removed. Florentino and Elsu are must bans in the current meta.
Right, and it seems like target bans, it might be a target ban to help out their own jungler in Ibuchichi, because if he's going to be playing something like the Crickneck, then perhaps he might have difficulties with a Murad and a Lindis.
Florentino taken away now as the final ban for Team Queso. Only one left remaining here for Cream Esports. Yeah, does it have to be the Elsu? Do they decide to go for the Sephora instead? They do, denying that away from Ruiz. You mentioned this a little bit before. You're shaking your head, TJ. You feel like the Elsu might have been a higher priority?
Yeah, because Simjo plays a great Elsu, and Cream Esports have demonstrated that they don't. So Team Queso, that's a no-brainer.
Right, and how is Cream going to develop this draft so that they can counter the Elsu? And the fact that they're taking so long with their first picks means, are they unprepared for this?
Is there an opportunity, though, to immediately get comfort picks? I see, yeah, exactly what we were seeing. An Omen's going to go into the hands of Hot. That's a Tulin that gets locked in now for Alex P. So despite the meta shifts that they want, regardless, they get 2 extremely comfortable heroes into the hands of the ones that love them.
But by banning out the Sephora, they haven't fundamentally changed the mid-game, because Ruiz is just going to pull out a Raz.
Right, Ruiz is good on any number of heroes. I complained about him yesterday a bit because he kind of bungled a couple team fights, but he was very powerful them. He's gonna be good in this game. I'm gonna going on a limb there.
So I just feel they've really missed a trick, because the Elsu fundamentally changes the game, forces them to counter, whereas the Sephora going through wouldn't have.
Teamy, Roxy locked in for Team Queso, Superman, and it looks to be an Aram. Yes, that's locked in now for Cream Esports. And so the side laners have been created. Aram obviously there to do everything that she does. And what is Team Queso going to end up in? A Lumia hover there.
Okay, before we get to the Illumia, 1 second. We saw this last week that Cream picked Aram on the noob to counter Teamy. And the reason why that's true, because Teamy is such a good frontliner because he has 2 lives, but you cannot pop being the bro while Snare is on him specifically. So that can shut down Memorize potentially.
The Ryoma and Kali comes through for Team Queso. That's a very good duo again into the attacking side against them. It'll give a lot of range to Ruiz. In contrast to the Raz, maybe I was theorizing he'd run. That backs up the Elsu. Now they've got incredibly good backline range damage. They've got the Roxy, Teamy, Ryoma to hold frontline and chase down anyone who's knocked low. I think this is going to be very tough for Cream, but if they can get through, especially with that Superman into the backlines and threaten the squishier backline characters, I don't actually see a lot of answering tools.
Something that we saw actually from a lot of yesterday was very uncomfortable drafts from multiple teams. Team Queso including into this when they're in their series against Clash yesterday. It seems like with this specific match, both teams got what they were looking for. They fell into some comfort picks onto Cream. Yes, I think that you are agree. I think that I agree with you in the sense that Team Queso clearly, I think, has the slight edge at the end of this draft, but that doesn't mean that you can rule Cream out because of their desire to go for something that they know they can perform on.
I'm looking at this draft and I'm like furrowing my brow because both of these teams, it's really going to come down to the execution. And I know that's such a cop-out, but there is so much...
Come on, D2, you're better than that.
Let me just explain. Okay, there is so much poke on the side of Queso. It's ridiculous. They have drafted the ultimate poke composition. It's your standard Fortress comp. They have the Elsu, they have the Kali. No one pokes harder in terms of distance and damage than Kali and Elsu. Those are the most poke heroes in the entire game. And it really comes down to being able to dive them with the Tulin and with the Superman. If they cannot do that, they will lose, just 100%. And so it just really comes down if they're able to do that. Obviously they can, but I really trust the side of Queso to not get caught out.
I also will give a lot of credit over to Queso because they're putting Ibuchichi, one that has been known to play more passive, on that Crickneck, which he succeeded at yesterday. We're going to get to immediately find out which is going to hold true as Queso versus Cream take the Antares battlefield for our first match of the day in the European region.
Memorized already dueling versus his counterparts, Alex P and the noob in that mid lane, with Simjo drifting down towards the bottom.
I want to talk about this Dioma pick here from Ibuchichi because he succeeded in the Crickneck yesterday, but he might have trouble with this Dioma. We've seen it succeed before, but has he been putting the practice in? Has he been practicing the smackdowns with the Wailing Blade?
Yeah, Ryoma is a very standard melee jungle character, and until yesterday, that was something we'd actually written Ibuchichi completely off of playing.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, though, he typically played, he was kind of forced to play those frontline melee characters like the Wonder Woman. Ryoma's a bit more similar to the Crickneck in a way because he can just burst someone down.
Yeah, but he still has some frontline brawling potential, which may be what Team Queso were looking for in their more Fortress draft setup.
Very much so. Already the lead coming here for Cream in that top lane. That's something we need to keep an eye on, because if they're able to do that, then Hot can rotate over and they can get the advantage near the Abyssal Dragon, which is coming up in just a few moments' time.
Ibuchichi will come through in mid, poking the noob back. There's those Wailing Blades smackdowns you were looking for. They'll back off, though, because this Abyssal Dragon is the primary objective.
Absolutely. And Hot, he's always going to want to rotate over. And this is going to be a matchup that we need to look at, because Yavex versus Hot, whoever can clear the waves, they're so good at clearing this waves, speaking of Roxy and Superman, that if they can cut it, or if they can just clear it while the other is not there, then it'll severely help the team fight.
Whichever team doesn't have a player caught up top waiting will benefit greatly because they have an extra player in the team fight, because their top laner isn't just up brawling.
Exactly, and Ibuchichi versus Frost is another matchup, because Ibuchichi has the range to deal with Violet, even though Violet has those tactical fires.
The Abyssal Dragon at half HP. Team Queso are nearby. Cream are challenging. They'll go in, but Ibuchichi does get it for Team Queso. And Simjo's through as well. The noob's already down. There's a response from Hot as he dives in, but he can't find a kill.
TJ, look how far he has to dive. He has to go through Ethereal Pulse. He has to go through the snipes. He has so far to get to the back line. And in all that time, TJ, he was just chunked down. By the time he gets to the back line, he's like, wait a second, I gotta bounce.
Do you say that often?
No, just now.
That seemed like you were trying it out for the first time.
Yeah, I was... So, you know, seeing how it felt. Seeing how it felt.
I don't think it's for you, Daniel.
Okay. I'll think of something else. He's gotta... I gotta leave this particular area.
Nice.
All right.
Alex P will drip back in the middle alongside the noob.
Look at that. By the way, Ryoma is so good against Aro. It doesn't seem like it because he's a melee hero, but all of his abilities outrange those beasts.
Speaking of outranging, you have that across the map. We talked about this Team Queso having the ultimate poke composition, and it pays off for tower pressure, for map pressure, and Hera gets one in the bot lane. Talent, it's very low. This snipe just goes wide, though, and that will allow him to escape.
Just like you mentioned. Oh my goodness, Simjo's doing such a good job. You mentioned it, TJ. Simjo is very capable of playing this Elsu.
And that's why it was such a head-scratcher to me that they let it through in the draft, because of course Simjo will pick up the Elsu. They're not going to for a second consider letting it through.
This is just so courageous here to walk up to that tower, because he knows he can get away with the disengage, and he knows that Memorize will back him up.
A missed Ethereal Pulse in mid as Hot does bait it out. We were kind of watching this going into it, this Alex P versus Ruiz matchup. Who do you feel it goes to on paper if Talented can escape? Actually, he might be in a lot more trouble than I initially thought. It will be the rest of the team there, though. Alex P, the player we're talking about, rotating in to keep him safe.
Talent-wise, they're pretty similar, but based on these heroes and based on the compositions around them, I have to give the edge to Ruiz, because how is Alex P ever going to get to Ruiz? He's just going to sit back and throw out Ethereal Pulses until Alex P has no HP left.
And that's very, very difficult, because the second that mid lane clear goes over consistently to Ruiz, and the second Ruiz is winning that mid lane, it opens up the rest of the map.
It absolutely does, and it allows for so much more poke to come through from the side of Team Queso.
Memorized in trouble.
Ooh.
Will spend that being a bro. The kill comes through onto the noob. In the meantime, that means the tables are turned, and Team Queso have isolated Frost and trapped Cream. Simjo will get one at point-blank range. Alex P's gone, and Cream are in big trouble in the bot lane.
I love it. The point-blank snipe, TJ. The reason why you don't usually use it right away is because it doesn't have a good accuracy, but when you're point-blank range, it is the shotgun approach. It will land on its mark.
Oh, that was nice.
Very nice disengage there from Simjo. If you use that disengage, you fire a shot, you jump back, and sometimes you'll dodge some lasers from a certain Man of Steel.
This allows Team Queso to grab the second tower of the game to them. They'll have Wave approaching tower in mid as well.
Oh, look at the damage. LXP already 50% health here.
And Team Queso take advantage of how many players it takes to get forward, defend that tower, to flank around. This gets memorized in Yavek's deep in. Oh, that's the wrong target. Actis crash attaches to a minion, but the zone's still there because they press in. Another tower falls.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They get the tower, TJ. That's all they care about. Look at what Team Queso is doing to Cream right now. They're running them around the map. Even though they have poke heroes, it doesn't matter because they're forcing the side of Cream behind their towers, and then they're just taking him down.
And that tower was earned not so much by frontline pressure, but by the flank coming through from the support, memorized.
Look at Rudy's, oh my goodness, just 1v3, and he's able to just get so much damage onto them. He's just so courageous going in all these fights.
Memorized will lead again, diving into the back lines. This knife, Simjo, you're nuts! There's a response, but it allows time for Buchichi and the rest of the team to catch up. The poke down Cream, and that's an even trade they'll take every day.
Yeah, absolutely. They will take that trade because they need to get back into this game, because they need to get back into the goal situation. But Team Queso is just continuing to be on this tower push.
Simjo. Oh, they should not have let him have Elsu.
I would say so, and the same thing goes for Kali. If you look at it, doing so much damage from Ruiz here.
Ibuchichi does fall. Nicely done by Cream to begin striking back.
Yeah, they're doing all they can. That Death's Embrace was in exactly the right location so that Ibuchichi was caught underneath. But I do like this from Ibuchichi. Part of the reason why he's caused problems for Team Queso in the past is because he just hasn't been aggressive enough. If he's able to just put fear into the opponent, that's going to be enough for his side. The team can fit around that.
So I wanted to talk earlier about the zoning coming through from Memorize, because that was why they were getting so many towers, that support leading the aggression. And here you can see it again, setting up for Simjo.
Exactly. When he gets in there as the teammate, it forces everyone back and it allows Simjo that room in order to get the damage in with those knives, or even sometimes auto attacks.
Because you have that kind of wall in front of you, it lets Simjo play a little bit more riskily. Oh my god, and finds these extra silly attacks. And actually, Yavex in the meantime doesn't even need support. He'll force people low, but you can see Memorized still pushing forward so that he has the confidence to know he can go for the fight.
Right, he has eyes on the map at all times, and this is what allows for Ruiz and Simjo to get their damage in because they know they're not going to be flanked. That's very important for those backline heroes to make sure that they can step up and deal their damage. If they don't know where the other team is coming from, then they can't step up at all.
And this will be a Dark Slayer grabbed again. Memorized with the zone informs the team that there's only the noob nearby. That means they can all go through. Memorized on the front lines will scare back Cream, a very aggressive support player.
Right, and Memorize is making this teamie work so well. We talked about the fact that the noob last week was able to counter Teamy. This week it seems like the exact opposite because Teamy can just walk up with impunity and all the ranged heroes on the side of Team Queso can just burn the noob down. It seems like the noob is unable to get anything done this game.
He has locked down Memorized a few times, but Memorized is okay dying.
Right, but that's also part of it too, because if there's a lockdown there and both sides kind of commit, the damage comes from Team Queso much harder.
Yeah.
Right, so the damage is coming through. No one on Cream wants to step up to kill Memorize, and so he just stays alive and he just walks away like some happy raccoons.
I thought there was going to be an analogy, but that was just a description.
Yeah, I just described what they are. And sometimes
Thanks.
it's hard because it's plural. It's hard.
Raccoon-eye, actually, the plural of raccoons. Not very many people know that.
All right.
Team Queso summon the Drake, giving them the Empower minions, allowing them to push forward and take yet another tower in that bottom lane. They'll press mid as well.
This is so scary if you are a Cream because there's just so much damage coming in. You can't even defend. And even Kali can take down towers with her empowered auto attack.
Memorized on the front line. Simjo taking advantage of that to just chip away at the tower. Drake will crash up against the top lane. Given a moment, and Team Queso will rotate their efforts to address it.
It seems like this is never going to end, DJ.
Cream needs to try and hold on for a moment longer. Hot goes in. That's good clear. They do have the wave clear, and that's going to keep them up.
Barely.
But you can see that Drake still chipping away, and the Ethereal Pulse zones the ball back, meaning the first high ground's gone, and the second won't be far behind.
Yeah, zone is one way to put it. Ruiz nearly killed the noob with a single Ethereal Pulse. That was so ridiculous, doing so much damage with that. And now he has Frosty's Revenge, CJ. Every single time an Ethereal Pulse hits, it will slow them down, making it even easier to get him.
Yarvex brawling up front. This time the noob tries to go in with the snare, and he's instantly ended. Yarvex is in trouble. He'll go down, but Memorize is there with the flicker forward and the stun. This could be game. There are no high grounds left, and Sibjo's just focusing the core. It's game number 1. Over to Team Queso.
A perfect game tower-wise from Team Queso. What a beautiful performance, and they prove to themselves that they are one of the top teams in EU.